On the corner of Greenwood and Archer is Greenwood Rising, a new center housing the story of this historic district. From Black Wall Street to the 1921 race massacre and a rebuilding of a community. It's an immersive experience by design.
And we intentionally designed it so that when people leave, you cannot leave the same way you came.
It was amazing.
Kimberly Lewis felt a range of emotions. She was impressed and moved.
I just was really overwhelmed by all of the pictures and videos here, and I really enjoyed it.
Visitors start with a film, produced locally, featuring Greenwood business owners and community leaders. During it, Maya Angelou reads her 1978 poem, Still I Rise.
But still like dust, I rise.
It sets you up visually for what you're about to see.
The tour continues after crossing railroad tracks, taking you back to the district's early days. Figures from the past appear in the mirrors of TC's barbershop, telling stories of life back then.
They could have spent their money somewhere else.
Could, but they didn't.
And then the history of how this area, this Oklahoma territory, became a paradise for black citizens.
Beyond the reflections, large sections of walls are waiting, designed to look destroyed as if it were 1921 and you're standing in Greenwood. Old recordings from actual survivors of the race massacre tell their stories.
Saying I was 9 years old, I was 7 years old, I was 17 years old, and what they remembered.
People begging for their homes and businesses not to be burned.
The way that they presented it, it was like you were right there. You can feel their terror and their sadness.
It's hard to explain how you feel. You get a rush of different emotions when you see something like that, and to know that it was actual victims and survivors, like I said, it's a different feeling.
Philip Ruff and Aaron Shekels are visiting from Louisville, Kentucky. Like many, they learned about Greenwood later in life.
It's really important. You have to know your history. You know, if you want to improve, you have to know your history. So once I was in Tulsa, I was like, I'm gonna go visit that site, and that's why we're here today.
After the destruction, you'll see a rebirth of Greenwood, showcased in this room.
You see how these people with that spirit, that Black Wall Street spirit, rebuilt their community and made it actually bigger and economically better.
As you move through the center, you'll notice the use of a lot of digital video, audio, and photographs. These here show before and after of what Greenwood looked like then and now.
Pictures taken from 1971, 1921, 1919, 1939, and then it transforms right before your eyes and shows you exactly where that exact same picture is and what's here today.
Today is where the tour ends. This discussion space is used for talks about what was learned and where the community goes from here. Visitors are welcome to leave a commitment.
Once you learn history, what are you going to do with it? And so we challenge people, hey, now that you know this, what are you going to do?
I think when you come here, you will get a perspective of everything from the beginning to the end, and how we're trying to continue to improve our race relations in the community.
At Greenwood Rising in downtown Tulsa, I'm Jason Grubbs for Discover Oklahoma.